When you see a male in an ad that would have traditionally been a female ad, do you see that as a mark forward for feminism, for representations of feminism?
I just see it as a mark forward for reality, right? Like that, it's like the reality that men wash clothes too.
Well, I want to start with a show that I thought was initially pretty groundbreaking, and this is Lena Dunham's Girls. So everybody sort of looked at Lena Dunham as this voice of a generation. She was very sexually forward, outgoing, but she's also a voice of white privilege. And her show is really representative of some of the problems in feminism, which is that there is white feminism. And so Lena Dunham's brand of feminism is not inclusive. And I like to define myself as an intersectional feminist, where my feminism is inclusive of women of all races and women that don't always have vaginas. So Lena Dunham's feminism is very heteronormative, cisgendered, and white. And so for me, that show instantly became problematic with the absence of representation.
It's so hard to keep up with all the technology. There's like new things coming up all the time, new apps, and you can't always control what your children are accessing.
Are you more mindful about your own use, knowing that they're watching you?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a really great question.
One of the things I've tried to do with my daughter a little bit is when I'm going to whether I post it or not, the dialogue that's in my head, I'm more apt now to say out loud. So looking at a picture and saying, wow, I really love this picture. Should I post this? I don't know if I should post this. Do I really need everybody to know? Right. Oh, I'm not sure.
But I think that's kind of like the tough part about it, right? Because all of us think that our kids are to a certain level of brilliance, and you want to expose that to the world and all that too. But you also don't want to be like, you know, everything I'm doing, I'm trying to either publicize or monetize or whatever it is through my child. So, yeah.
I am not a zombie expert. I do not watch The Walking Dead at all, but I know that that's where people know her from. So again, she kills zombies, right? She's not a delicate flower. And again, it's not saying that every black woman should aspire to be a delicate flower.
No, but it's recognizing those different, where the roles are.
Exactly, exactly. So that's, I think, we are still, you know, playing with stereotypes. So if we have a darker skinned actress, we're not looking at her as, again, the smart one, the pretty one, the one who's going to get the romantic lead role, you know. So that's what we're looking at still.
Like, yes, social media is so different in the last few years, but even if we go back another 10 or 15 years, we're talking about the shift to a 24-hour news cycle.
Yes, always
and
on.
when I mentioned the beast that must be fed, like we had a beast that needs to be fed, starting with that. So do you see that that was sort of a kindling point for
Sure.
that?
I mean, if there's no cycle, if there's no point where the cycle shuts off, and the constant need for more information, new exclusives, new voices, that absolutely feeds this sort of, you know, the social media pace, FOMO, right, fear of missing out. You even, I think, have a degree of celebrities feeling like they have to say something if their peers
they're
are.
asked, right?
They're asked to,
frequently.
and you know, you'd better be prepared to say something that sounds remotely intelligent if someone asks you.
The term screen time, parents tend to not want that for their preschoolers.
Yeah.
I've always sort of thought the term, another reason why I hate the term screen time is it gets parents so riled up. Like, you can talk to most of my friends who have children. You talk to them at dinner. They'll go, "Oh, my son is so gifted. He's so smart. He's so handsome. He does all these great things." Then you mention screen time, and suddenly the kids are addicted and the problems, and like the exact same kid. And it's like it triggers people.